evening, all. Still June 30th, 2025. Thanks for joining me, Dorothea, on Through an Orthodox Christian Lens. It's late in the evening. As usual, I seem to pop up here in the evening and with some information for you. So, I recently gave you an update on some of the next stages, or not, we're in the second stage, but other portions of the World War III prophecy, because there's many things that happen, like 7 stages, maybe even more. And I had talked about Metropolitan Neophytos discussing the fall of Erdogan in Turkey. And what I originally heard in 2019 was that Erdogan would fall either by biologically or some other maybe political reason. And I'd seen it like that for a while. We weren't sure. And then the most recent video I did on this with the update from the Metropolitan in December 2024, he had said that the West, basically NATO, US, would have him removed, because he doesn't always do what the US wants, or the US or the West wants him to do. And since Turkey's in NATO, they want a more compliant Turkish leader. Well, an extraordinary detail came out this morning from the Holy Wisdom channel that does a lot on prophecies, and so there's more of a detail here that I wanted to share with you, and I'm going to show his video here in just a minute, and we'll go from there and see what we think.
On February 28th, 2018, His Eminence Metropolitan Neophytos of Morphu offered a significant clarification regarding Recep Tayyip Erdogan. And let me say something and take it however you want. Nothing serious will happen as long as Erdogan lives. Know this: the serious things will happen when Erdogan falls. This is what the modern saints who see tell us, because the poor thing will fall. When he falls, then great things will happen. Take this as a point. But even when great things happen, Cyprus will have great protection.
You'll notice that he said nothing can happen while he's still alive. So that's important to know, because before you weren't sure if it was just political or if it was biological, like a natural. And when you think of biological, you're thinking like a natural illness or something like that. Well, let's see what he has to say.
Then on January 28, 2020, Metropolitan Neophytos of Morphu offered a striking reflection on geopolitical developments involving Greece and Turkey and Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Now, a point which, the events, Erdogan will do very little. He is smart, even though he wears many different masks, and this will lead to his destruction, but he knows how to negotiate. In regard to us, he will trigger a small episode, as was the case with Emia Aylet's military crisis over sovereignty between Greece and Turkey in 1996. Erdogan will fall, and after him inexperienced people, pro-Westerners, Kemalists, a political ideology, will take power, and they will create big problems. But what will these people do? They will ruin relations with Russia. They will betray Russia and make Russia furious. Who saw the Russian and was not afraid of him? This version of the prophecy of Elder Theodore Nilos of Geopolitical was published on April 13, 2019, by Anna Pancrati in one of her articles on Triclopodia. While sipping your morning coffee, you will hear of the first bomb falling in Iran. From that moment, everything will cease to function. The schemes of the new order will be upended. On that fateful Friday morning, when a penetrating bomb strikes a nuclear installation in Iran, events will accelerate with unimaginable speed. When the Jews hit Persia's nuclear program, then the great events will begin. At the same time, or a little earlier, Erdogan will fall. On June 8, 2017, an article published by Triclopodia revealed a remarkable prophecy attributed to Saint Raphael. The message, bearing striking symbolism and urgency, carried the bold declaration, 2010, and the then Prime Minister of Turkey, Tayyip Erdogan, visited Athens. At the press conference, someone happened to be there who a few days before had made his vow to the newly appeared Saints Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene in Mytilene, Lesvos. Hearing what Erdogan was saying, his face darkened, and he informed his friend, who was with him and listening to the statements, that something shocking had happened to him the previous night. He described that he dreamed of Saint Raphael, who, in a stern tone, told him, "I came as a refugee here to this island, persecuted by the Turks, and for faith and homeland they cut off my head. This island will soon be filled with refugees transients. The Turks will continue to cut off heads, until the head of the one you will meet tomorrow in Athens falls. Then history will turn a page, and the Turks will become refugees." In the March 10, 2024, edition of Stylos Orthodoxia, pages 22 to 23, theologian and journalist Dionysius Makris shared a powerful and deeply thought-provoking account of a private discussion with a revered elder who chose to remain anonymous. "One of our sisters in Christ from Crete, who is following in the footsteps of the old woman, was privileged to see what I will briefly describe to you. I will try to convey to you as much detail as she told me. She saw Erdogan covered in blood. Everyone mourned his loss. His son will take his place with the..."
Okay, wow. So yes, this particular sister in Christ, I'm assuming a nun who is following the footsteps of the old woman. I don't know. Was privileged to see what I will briefly describe to you. I will try to convey to you as much detail as she told me. She saw Erdogan covered in blood. Everyone mourned his loss. His son will take his place. Wow. Wow. Okay.
Obligation to lead Turkey in the elections. In his short tenure, Erdogan's son proved to be completely incompetent, commonly called a potato, as he was called when it came to the governance of the country. Naturally, the Americans also put their hand in to make him appear unworthy of his father's succession. The Kemalists, with the help of the Americans, will win the elections.
Well, here you go. Specifically, this is how he's going to be removed. As usual, it's us doing regime change. What a surprise.
As soon as they become a government, they will attack Greece. They will strike in many directions to disorganize the Greek army.
Yes, so we know that this is the next part of the taking the 3 islands and all that, but I just wanted to give you that little bit of detail because I found it quite extraordinary. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Please follow me and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And if you want to follow me on Rumble, please share my videos if you like them. Like my videos if you like them. And comment on them if you have any comments that you would like to add or questions or whatever. I will give you this little information, by the way. Underneath the post, underneath the video, somebody was asking him, somebody had said, but the prophecy says that shortly before or at the same time as the Jews strike Iran's nuclear program, Erdogan would fall. But the nuclear program has already been bombed some time ago now, and Erdogan still hasn't fallen. Is this a contradiction? And the Holy Wisdom says, it is undeniable that nuclear facilities were targeted first by Israel on Friday 13, 2025, and later on by the United States, in alignment with the prophecy of Elder Theodore. Since President Erdogan did not fall prior to these events, it is reasonable to assume that this outcome may unfold within a similar time frame to the strikes of Iran. This period could range from a matter of days to several weeks or a few months, though it is unlikely to exceed 3 months if we are indeed referring to the same prophetic window. I wonder why 3 months. Our Orthodox elders and saints do not speak without careful discernment or spiritual purpose. The war with Iran is on pause and is expected to resume very soon. Yeah, that's what I've been saying, that this was a pause, a lull, whatever. Anyway, interesting info there. Okay, so, and it could be the uprising of the Kemalists against Erdogan, basically color revolutions and stuff like that the USAID was doing, the CIA is always involved in, and riling up people in other countries. That could be how Erdogan ends up. Anyway, thanks so much again for watching. As I said, like my videos if you like them. It helps in the algorithms, by the way. And thanks so much for your ongoing support. Hope you have a blessed night. Until next time.